Hello everyone, it is me, the Joker Baby here, back for another video. Now, in this video we are going to be finishing every LEGO DC game, playing both LEGO Batman 3 and LEGO DC Supervillains, and giving my take on them. Now, if you're new here, don't be worried, because you don't have to watch part 1 to understand this video. All you really need to know from part 1 is that I think LEGO Batman the video game is good, and I think LEGO Batman 2 is a absolute masterpiece. That's basically my opinions there, so you don't have to watch that one to enjoy it, although I would like some previews, so if you would go check it out after this video, that would be appreciated. But today we are finishing the journey and playing both LEGO Batman 3 and LEGO DC Supervillains. Let's just get right in. LEGO Batman 3. Now, this game is quite confusing for me, because you see, this game I remember getting first day. I was so excited, being a big fanboy for the other two. I was just ecstatic for this game. I remember getting it, and I remember just loving it. Just having the best time ever on this game. And then I saw a lot of people say that this is their least favorite LEGO Batman game, and I was like, no, wait a minute, that doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem like what my mind thinks this game is. That doesn't make sense at all. So, I was the most curious going into this game out of them all, about like what this game was going to entail. And were they right? Is this game bad, or was I right? And is the game really good? Well, let's just say, yeah, they were pretty, they were right. This game, man, it's very confusing. But before we get into the actual game, I do want to clarify that in the last video, the footage I used was not my footage, because I had to use PlayStation streaming to play those games. But for both the games in this video, LEGO Batman 3 and LEGO DC Supervillains, the footage used is my footage. It's my footage, it's the footage I use. No more grabbing footage off YouTube. It's kinda great. So yeah, with that in mind, let's get into the video. Alright, starting off strong, let's start with the story of this game. The story of this game, now, with the other two, there was a pattern, and you'll see this pattern. With LEGO Batman 1, it set the ground rules, right? It set the ground rules for what this was going to be, what the LEGO Batman saga is going to entail, what the mechanics of this series is going to be. LEGO Batman 2 took all of that and improved it tenfold, making it one of the best LEGO games ever to be released. Now, you'd think LEGO Batman 3 would improve upon this even more, or at least be just as good as LEGO Batman 2. But it just isn't. The story of this game is pretty simple. Brainiac takes all of the lanterns, yes, the lanterns are in this game. Brainiac takes all of the lanterns and mind controls them and uses them to make a beam that can shrink anything. So he shows up to Earth and shrinks Earth down to tiny little itty bitty Earths. So the heroes and the villains, the Justice League and the Legion of Doom, have to all team up to stop Brainiac. And that's basically the story of this game. It's simple, right? One thing I've seen quite a bit is that this game shouldn't really be called LEGO Batman 3, because Batman isn't a big part of this game. He's actually probably one of the more, he's one of the least important parts of this game, right? He barely has anything to do with this game. This game is mainly a Justice League and Lanterns game. Now, this section of the game, where you're fighting Brainiac and doing some stuff, I don't think is that bad from a gameplay perspective. There's a lot of interesting mechanics introduced here. Like I said in the last video, in the other two games, Batman and Robin had alternate suits that you could switch through from these little panels that come out of the floor. But in this game, almost every character in this game has the same sort of thing. They all have the same thing to where you can switch between different suits, like the Joker you can do it, Lex Luthor, Cyborg is one of the more interesting ones. And you think this would be really cool gameplay-wise, because it encourages you to switch between different characters and use different suits and different combos of suits to solve the puzzles in the game, right? Well, no. You see, this game, all of the characters have the exact same suits. There is no variety. Every single character has the same set of suits. There's a bit of diversity, but like it's the same Batman and Robin presets from the first game, but like Lex Luthor has the exact same suits as Robin and the Joker, and Cyborg has the exact same suits that Batman has, only with some slight visible differences. Overall, mechanic-wise, they are the exact same. I feel like a better way to do this would be to split up the suits and have certain suits locked to certain characters. That would encourage you to use different characters throughout the game. This becomes a big problem in the game because, realistically, some of these characters have no purpose being in this game. I think this is most apparent in Europe Against It and Big Trouble and Little Gotham, because in these two levels you're playing in the size down scale of Earth, and I found myself only using one character throughout most of the level, especially Europe Against It. You can pretty much complete this game, that level, just using Batman. Wonder Woman and Superman are just kinda there. You need to blow up a gold thing, switch to Batman's spacesuit, and you can blow it up using the laser. Superman kinda is useless. Quite literally, the only time I ever switched to Wonder Woman is when the game forced me to beat Brainiac at the very end of the level. That is not how you incorporate these other characters into the level. Why are they here? Like, I found this being a big problem to where some characters just sit around doing absolutely nothing throughout the entire level, and you never want to use them because they're just useless. Why use Wonder Woman, who can really the only thing she's useful for is just blocking the lasers, when you can use Batman, who has every single ability under the sun? Hell, at that point Superman is useless. Superman! That shouldn't be happening. That doesn't make any sense. Another thing with this game, especially Europe Against It and Big Problems in Little Gotham, those two levels and specifically I have some big issues with, is the level design is kind of mid at certain points, right? It's very strange. My big pet peeve in LEGO games returns here in the form of shoving hundreds of enemies onto your screen and just fighting them, and then when it comes to the big boss, you just flick a lever and he dies. Quite literally, that is what most of the boss fights in this game are. I swear, every single time I saw the little circle on the top of the screen show up that said I had to kill 30 enemies, I'd lose my crap. Especially in Big Problems in Little Gotham. That level in particular just threw Brainiac goons at me just infinitely. They just infinitely spawned. Like, you could barely go through the level because there would just be like 10 goons just following you around, beating you up. And if you killed those 10 goons, another 20 goons would spawn. They like multiplied. It's so strange, and it's not fun. Like, it is not fun. And that becomes a big problem in the later half of this game too, to where it's just the same thing. Same problem, just goons everywhere. But I digress. But eventually, in the final big problems with Little Gotham level, you use the Flash and in a scripted cutscene beat Brainiac and like trap him under a dome of all things. And at that point, you think the game is over. You think it's over. And realistically, that was a very short game. Until you realize that there's an entire another half of this game that has nothing to do with Brainiac at all. Yeah, we're only halfway through this game. The other half of this game is grabbing all the lanterns from the other games and kind of like trying to grab all the lantern rings, not rings, but like energy. I don't even, I'm not too big on the lanterns, so I don't know what most of this is. But you need different lantern energy to resize Earth because it's still all shrunken and sad. The only problem with these lantern levels is that they are the worst things in existence. I can't with these levels. These levels actively hurt me. Every single one of these levels is the exact same thing, and there's so many of them. There are two types of levels, right? The first type of level is the most common, where you land on one of the lantern planets, beat up millions of enemies, arrive at a boss who turns into a big monster man, and then you fight Big Monster Man, and then you kill Big Monster Man, and then you steal his energy. There are straight up 4 levels that go exactly like that, beat for beat. And they are the most boring levels I have ever played in a LEGO game. They are so dull. The other type of levels in this lantern section of the game is where you are in the Invisible Jet or the Justice League plane, I don't know what it's called. But basically you're in that thingy and you're just blowing up ships for like the entire level. Until the last like 10 minutes of the level where you eventually land on the planet and do the exact same thing again. You beat up like 10 enemies and then you fight a big guy and then the big guy turns into an even bigger guy and then you fight the even bigger guy and then you beat the level. You could have thrown some variety in here. And most of the levels you're playing as the same team of 2 different guys. Like you have Martian Manhunter, Cyborg, and the Flash on one team. And then the other team, you have Solomon Grundy, you have Green Lantern, Batman dressed as the Joker, Wonder Woman dressed as Sita, and Lex Luthor, or Robin dressed as Lex Luthor. And those last 3 guys are completely useless, by the way. You will never use those guys, because when you're playing as Batman in his Joker outfit, you cannot use any of the abilities that Batman has, so you're just kind of a guy in a Joker outfit. He's so me for real. He's the most useless guy in the game. Same with the Wonder Woman and Sita outfit and Robin and the Lex Luthor outfit. You will never use them. You can pretty much just straight up fly through the level as Green Lantern and occasionally use Solomon Grundy whenever you really get bored, I guess. These levels are so bad. They are so bad. The last level of the game tries in vain to bring Brainiac back into the story. There's a little fight with all the lanterns and then Brainiac shows up and then makes Superman a big Superman. And then you fight Big Superman. But you don't really fight him, you just kind of pull levers and build a laser that fights Big Superman. You don't actually fight Big Superman. They even address that Batman does have kryptonite, but the kryptonite has shrunk, so you're not using the kryptonite to fight this guy. It's not happening. So it just turns into a vain attempt to bring Brainiac into the story. You beat up Brainiac pretty quickly, and he just kind of kneels over. And to really put the cherry on top, they completely just troll the hell out of us by sort of teasing a crossover game between LEGO DC and LEGO Marvel, which would unironically be an amazing idea, but then they reveal it's just Swamp Thing and Booster Gold of all people. This game, right, out of everything I've told you, this game should just be trash, right? It should just be horrific. And at some point, it is pretty bad, right? But on the other hand, I like it. I don't know why. It has so many problems. But while playing this game, I was just enjoying myself. Maybe I just have nostalgia. But I was just having a good time, man. And that's not even counting the best part of this game. the part that single-handedly saves this game from just being horrific. The open world. The post-game experience of this game is, dare I say, perfect. There is so much happening. This game has the biggest character roster out of the games we've covered so far, and the biggest open world. You can run around all of the Lantern planets, which have actual fully fleshed out open worlds on each and every planet. And, you know, the post-game experience elevates this to new levels, right? It is single-handedly saves this game from being just complete trash. I dare even say it's one of the best post-game experiences of a LEGO game. The mechanics and core of this game is good, but everything else just sucks, and this is the most confusing game on this list because I don't know how to feel. Part of me hates this game, and part of me loves this game. I don't know. Let's just move on. That's my long opinion on LEGO Batman Tree. Let's just move on to LEGO DC Supervillains. LEGO DC Supervillains. Now, I'm gonna be 100% honest. Going into this, I knew nothing about this game. I knew extremely little. I knew nothing about the story, or the gameplay, or really anything. I am completely going in as someone who knows nothing about this game. This is the only one of the LEGO DC games I have never played. So, what do I think of it? Is it as good as LEGO Batman 2, or as kind of bad as LEGO Batman Tree? Well, yeah, it's good. It's real good. Now, we're gonna do this a little bit differently. Usually, we start with the story and then talk about the gameplay, but I feel like we should talk about the gameplay first with this one, because I feel like it's more of a main focus here, and the story is more of a side thing, because this game really feels completely different to every other LEGO DC game. So, gameplay-wise, this game feels more like a LEGO Marvel game, I'm gonna be honest. The LEGO DC games had like a theme to them. This game doesn't follow almost anything established by the old games. Those alternate suits are gone, just no more. They don't exist in this game. And most of the unique mechanics that were exclusive to LEGO Batman games are now gone. The actual gameplay is almost identical to LEGO Marvel Super Heroes 2, and I'm not angry about that, because I really liked LEGO Marvel Super Heroes 2's gameplay, but let you know that it is basically just LEGO Marvel Super Heroes 2 with a slight reskin. Yeah, there's some unique features in this game, like graffitiing, which is kind of cool. Some unique features to all of the characters. And you know how I said that in LEGO Batman Tree, some characters just feel completely useless? Well, I feel like that problem got fixed in this game, because I felt myself using a lot more characters a lot more of the time. And I think that's mainly because they didn't just give all of the power to one character. They kind of do. Like, there is the character, which we'll get to, that has a lot of power and is easily the most powerful character and most useful character in the game. But they give him this power over time, so you're still encouraged to use other characters and not just exclusively play as the character we're gonna get to. And that character is
Jesus.
So now that I'm equipped with Jesus himself, it's time to talk about the story. And the story is pretty good. Pretty good. It's not amazing, but it's pretty good. You see, the story here is unique. It's something that I was not expecting. Again, I had no idea what I was getting myself into with this game. So, when the alternate reality Justice League, the evil Justice League, showed up, I kind of lost my crap. I was losing it. I was like, what? These guys are here? They're in the game? When I saw Owlman walk onto the screen, I think I was finally complete. I don't know. These characters just seemed really cool to me, and seeing them in a LEGO game is just awesome. I didn't even know they were main players in this game. Yes, the alternate reality Justice League shows up. They basically just eviscerate the original Justice League. They send them to the Darkseid's planet to just be captured there. And they fill in for Justice League, basically becoming the new Justice League. The Legion of Doom, who now Jesus has joined. I can't say that. I need to stop. But he's joined the Legion of Doom. You, the player, joins the Legion of Doom, and they aren't very happy with these new doppelganger Justice Leagues. So they have to take him down. Revealed a bit later in the game, the alternate reality Justice League is working with Darkseid to get the anti-life equation. Yeah, Darkseid's in this game. And it's handled very well. The entire story is focused on the evil Justice League. I think they're called the Crime Syndicate. I don't know. I'm not familiar with their group name. I only know characters like Ultraman and Owlman really well because, of course, I do. But the story feels really focused on these characters, and focused on resolving the plot. Unlike LEGO Batman Shuri, where you have to go on some goofy fetch quests to find lantern energy, right? This is so much more focused, and I could not be happier. Overall, the pacing of this game felt really good. I don't know, it's strange. Because some parts of the story are very, very good, but then there's some other parts to where I feel like they rush through it real quick. Like, the fight with Ultraman and Owlman, the whole evil Justice League versus the normal Justice League is, it feels rushed. It feels like it just didn't have time to build up to that naturally. You'd think that'd be kind of like one of the last levels, but there's still like 3 other levels after that. Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention that later in the game, Lex Luthor transports the villains to Darkseid's planet to go rescue the Justice League, and they do a similar thing like they did in LEGO Batman 3, where the villains and heroes have to team up to stop the evil Justice League and Darkseid. And overall, I think it's done very, very well. Again, few issues with the evil Justice League and the pacing of all of that, but it's nitpicking. Overall, if you're playing it, it's not gonna be too noticeable. And the final level of this game is, yeah, it's similar to the final level in LEGO Batman 3, but it's just better in every way. This time you fight Darkseid, and you fight a giant version of Darkseid. But instead of just flicking levers, you actually beat the crap out of Darkseid. It's a good boss fight. They do a great job here, and it's exactly what I wanted from the Superman boss fight in the last game. And overall, the boss fights in this game in general are just good. Like, when you're playing as just the villains, there's a few levels early on in the game where you get to fight heroes, and I think that's kind of cool. There's a area where you get to fight Nightwing and Batgirl, which is quite a fun boss fight. There's also a level where you get to fight the Teen Titans. That came out of nowhere, by the way. When Raven and Beast Boy just showed up, I was, again, like, just amazed. I didn't expect him to be in this game. And overall, this game, in general, was just refreshing. Maybe I just played way too much Batman at this point, but to have something else, something that was really good again, was awesome. This game is just really, really good. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. My ranking. How does all of the LEGO DC/LEGO Batman games hold up? Which one's the best and which one's the worst? Alright? Let's rank these. So in last place, surely this is a difficult spot. I did not know what game I wanted to put in last place. Part of me, a big part of me, wanted to put LEGO Batman 3 easily last place, worst game in the franchise. And I think it is the worst story in the franchise. But because of the open world, how much fun I have with the open world, this is one of the only games I want to come back to and play more of, which is so strange because the game should be really bad, but I want to play it more. For all of the other games, I was done. By the time I completed it, I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm not touching this game for a long time. But here, I wanted to play more, so in my heart, I couldn't give LEGO Batman 3 last place. So, in last place goes LEGO Batman the video game. A truly classic for its time. If this was ranking classic LEGO games, this would be near the top, but honestly, I was shocked on how good these games were, so I couldn't put this game any higher than the others because it's just so good. I like this game, I really do, but I don't think it compares to the others at all. If you want to see more of my thoughts on that, go watch the last video. And then, in second to last place, at the number 3 spot, yeah, LEGO Batman 3, easily. I can't put this above the other two, honestly. The story really drags it down. The open world might have been able to save it from getting last place, but it's not going to save it any further than that. This game, you're probably going to have a good time after you finish a bit of the game. It's like Starfield, right? You need to finish, you gotta go way out and like put a lot of time into this game to get to the good stuff. So honestly, I don't think it's really, I don't know if it's worth it or not, but I couldn't give it last place, but I don't think I could give it any higher than this. In the second best, or number 2 spot, is LEGO DC Supervillains. This game was honestly a blast to play through. It was a big surprise. It was going in blind, and I came out very, very happy at the end. This game was everything I wanted LEGO Batman 3 to be, and better. Yeah, if you're not a huge fan of the LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2 kind of format for a game, you probably won't like this as much since it's basically a reskin, but still, I liked LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2, which is probably why I like this game so much. And at number 1, in a landslide, like way above all of the others, the best LEGO game of all time, LEGO Batman 2. Yeah, I said it. I'll say it with my chest, this game is better than the complete saga. It's the best LEGO game of all time, and honestly might earn a spot on my favorite games of all time in general. This game is truly a masterpiece. You need to play it, right? You just need to play this game. Far and away the best game. So yeah, that is my ranking. Time to go to the outro. Alright everyone, that's it for today's video. Hope you all enjoyed. I will see you all in the next one. Guys, I I think I'm out of video ideas. I wasn't expecting to get this far, you know? I wasn't expecting it. I thought this was gonna be easy. It would be easy. Kick Megamaniac out of here and take the channel. But it's not. I'm already out of video ideas. I just have to stall for a little longer, and then we'll be there. It will be completed. I got it! The final video I need to make before my plan can be set into action. I have the perfect idea.